Bowls buddies, hello and welcome to Thursday and a second episode of Comment Corner, where we will go through the comments on the videos on my channel and see if I can answer a few questions or give you a few hints and tips about our wonderful sport. So first guys, thanks for joining me. If you enjoy these videos, please hit the like button. If you're not already a Bowls buddy and a member of this wonderful community of ours, please hit the subscribe button. It's absolutely free of charge. Don't forget, click the notification bell for notifications of new content on the channel, which is currently 4 times a week. Excellent, got that out of the way. So the first comment is from Williams Driving. Now that's not the full name, but it's not showing on my... if I hold it that way, will it? No. Hi Andy, really enjoying your YouTube clips. I'm 61 years old and only started playing last year. And it was only roll-ups with other members of the club due to the virus. I really can't wait for a real game. Here in Torquay, Devon, we play flat green, but we'll definitely give crown green a go when I'm next up in Manchester. Can you suggest any training I could do before April when our club reopens? Well, you always ache like mad after your first game back in the season. So all I would suggest to you before you can get back onto the green is do some warm-up exercises, stretch the muscles, just general loosening up exercises. Also, it'll be very heavy, so if you look at my Tuesday tutorial clips, hopefully there'll be something on there that will help you to reach during the early part of the season. But loosen up before you play. That is the most advice I can give you, really. I remember always after my first game aching like mad, legs, arms, you name it. So just loosen up, do some loosen exercises, and you should be fine. And you're more than welcome to watch the Crown Green stuff, which is a proper game, by the way. But thank you for all your support. Dave Parker, Andy, I've dug those balls out. I think you mean balls, Dave. They're too full. £2 8 ounce plastic. My wife's balls, which we won't use. I'm not sure about your wife's balls, Dave, but she won't use. So you're welcome to them if you think they're absolutely fine. I've just left a comment on there. Email me andy.cairns97@gmail.com and we'll sort out how to get the balls to me. Thank you very much indeed. Steve Malley, BCGBA has in excess of £200,000 in the bank doing nothing. Next thing they will be saying there are no new youngsters coming through. Come on BCGBA, support A Cairns. I don't want them to support me. I want them to support development of junior bowlers. I'd love not to have to go to the effort of getting balls to donate to people. You know, it should be being done by the powers that be, but well. John Howarth, sounds like a big job you're taking on there, Andy. Absolutely right, John, and I admire you for doing so. I'm sure our club will be able and willing to support you in a number of ways. You'll need to visit us when we are able to get on the greens. Harehill Park at Liverpool. Yeah, absolutely. When we get open, hopefully I'll get even more donations when people are back at the clubs doing and all the rest of it. Let's have a look. Warwick and Worcester. Hi Andy, the WWCBA supported me and set up a pool of junior bowls. These are free to loan to any WWCBA club with juniors. The coloured bowls were purchased and are key to our junior development. I found our coaches were competing for them. With regards eBay, I found our coaches were outbidding each other, just pumping up the prices of second hand. Happy to discuss further, including the street bowls. I bought a set, useless on hard floors, not much bias when tested on indoor flat greens, and found better ones from the pound shops. I'll PM you on Facebook. I'm still waiting for that PM, because I'm fascinated with your ideas about the foam bowls. So if you want to PM me on Facebook, I'm Andy Sidney. or you can email me on the email address I gave earlier. That would be fantastic. Andy Hodgson. Hi Andy, sounds like a great idea to help introduce Crown Green balls to kids, and I wish you every success. I'm sure I have a few old sets of woods kicking about which you are more than welcome to have for your pool. Hopefully once we get out and about on greens in a couple of months, I'll catch up with you in person and we'll let you have them. Keep up the great work on YouTube. Thanks Andy, that's very kind of you. Yeah, I'm sure I will catch up with you at some point, and any donations at all would be gratefully accepted. Jim Courtney. Brilliant idea Andy, I will check in the lofts and see if any equipment available for your project. On a sad note, just read today that Roy Lucy had died. What a bowler he was in the 80s, in and around the Merseyside area, and a great friend as well. Yes, I heard that Roy had passed away. I didn't know Roy particularly well. My career was sort of just starting as his was sort of drawing to a close, I guess. But I did play him at Vernon Carras at Preston, and he was actually one of the first competitions I entered, and I played Roy, and I knew he was a county player, and I was absolutely made up to get 18 with him. I thought he was a good player whenever I saw him play. Always sad when a ball passes away. Yeah, sad news. Unfortunately, there's going to be more and more over the next few years, and we really are losing links, our links to the great era of the game, really. But yeah, rest in peace, Roy, and all my personal commiserations. That's the wrong word. Condolences to Roy's family and friends, and I'm sure that goes from all of you as well, all the bowls buddies. Let's have a look. Gary Nicholson, my pal from Coventry. Thanks for the mention, AC. Not at all, Gary. How about a T20 version of bowls, first to 11 and one ball each, with alternate casting of the jack, or pairs comp, first to 21 again, with one player, each player having one ball each. Do you know, I talked about this yesterday in my Talking Bowls video, and I actually think that's quite a good shout. 11 up. Not sure about the idea of one ball each. I think 11 up, two balls each, but alternate throw the jack. I think that's actually grown on me. I didn't used to like that idea of having alternate jacks, but I suppose it's just like darts, isn't it? You have somebody who has first throw, and it just alternates. So yeah, I've always been a big fan of, if you win the end, you deserve to set the mark, but I think that could work, 11 up with alternate jacks. I like that idea, Gary, a lot. Gerald O'Shaughnessy, another valued bowls buddy. Absolutely great, Andy. It's people like you I think will save Crown Green bowling. I wish I had the same confidence, Gerald. I will send you a cheque, thank you very much. Send me your details. Thank you, Andy. P.S. As an old man, I still love bowling. Well, that's absolutely fantastic of you, Gerald. Thank you for leaving a comment. And remember, guys, comment on these videos. I do read them. Sometimes it takes me a few days, but I always get round to it. Scott Sellers, and this was on, which I think it was my Talking Bowls video, I think, but I'm not so sure. Premier League of Bowls, like the darts, each game 9 up, weekly rounds at different venues, some days, some nights, final nights, 11 up, semi and final, or similar. Yeah, I don't think you've said a lot wrong there. Like I said yesterday, I'm a big fan of the Big Smash format, 20 ends with power plays. 9 up might be a little bit too short. It could be over in 5 ends. Which is not even 10 minutes. It's about a minute and a half an end generally. So 9 up might be too short. Maybe 20 ends is too long. I don't know. It's one of those things that you'd have to try it and see. Dwithia pops up time and time again. I still don't know how to say it, and I still don't know your proper name. Call it speed bowls. Yeah, well, as long as it was speedy, that would be absolutely fine. It's coming up with a format that is speedy, I guess. the one that Scott's just mentioned would definitely be speedy. So speed bowls, yeah, absolutely. Alan Reed, would the down thumber please care to explain why? Yeah, Alan's noticed that on my videos, well, on this particular video, somebody's down thumbed it, so it disliked it. And I have at least one dislike per video. And I'm thinking it must be the same person who either doesn't like me or what. Well, probably doesn't like me, but that's fine, I can live with that. And it's a shame you feel as though you need to dislike the video, but you know, each to their own. You don't have to like, you don't have to subscribe, you don't have to be positive, but oh well. So Alan, thanks for noticing, and to make sure that the dislikes aren't a big proportion of the comments and everything on the channel, make sure you like the videos. Mark Adshead, I always say that wrong first time. Great content as always, AC. Thank you, Mark. Is the Big Smash Balls event in Cumbria template for TV? Absolutely, absolutely, Mark. Agree with you 100%. I think it's the way forward for the elite game. I'd love to see more competitions trying that format or a similar format. Or trying their own format. You know, nobody seems to want to run a sets-based competition or anything like that. It's a shame, really. But yeah, I think it's the way forward for competition bowls. I really do. Darryl Wright. Hi Andy, we have over 40 sets of bowls, not including 2 sets of New Age bowls. If you need help from the Philip Wright Crane Green Bowling Academy, please give me a shout. Darryl, I may very well do that. Things are still at a very early stage at the minute, but I'm sure when I'm further down the road I will be wanting to have a chat with you. UK Carver, great video. Must say watching bowls on YouTube has kept me going through this pandemic. You and me both. Although I'm getting on in years, I'm all for keep up with the times. The only thing I get bothered with is some of the nasty aggression that I've experienced. Stuart in North Wales. Well, yeah, it's crept into the game quite insidiously, really, over the past 20 or so years, and it seems to be the commonplace now, where you don't support your man, you abuse his opponent, and for me, it's not the way to be. Support your man, yes. But you know, best of order and respect for the opponent, and that isn't always the case. But I'm glad you're still playing. I'm glad you're still enjoying the channel. Thanks, Stuart. Ian Thompson, although I understand the need to encourage youngsters by not having a strict dress code, I think we have to have some standards to gain some professionalism for the sport. This can be as simple as team polo shirts and no jeans. After all, when youngsters play other sports, they are expected to wear a standard kit, e.g. football, cricket, rugby. Yes, Ian, I think the problem is you can be too prescriptive with things, and when you are trying to get young people involved, saying, oh no, you've got to wear black trousers, is just another barrier, really. And yeah, at senior level, the top end of the game, I think we do need to be professional. I think we do need to have a professional outlook on our dress code and demeanour and everything else. But we're not a professional sport. As much as we would like to be, we're not. And I think being over prescriptive, being too fussy about things like, well, does it really matter if they're wearing jeans as long as they've got the same polo shirt on? If you're playing football, you wear a football strip. If you're playing cricket, you wear a cricket strip. Bowls doesn't have a strip as such. As a sport, it maybe should have, like the flat green game had their whites, but they've slowly moved away from it, and they're more colourful, and I just think we should be more colourful, even if it just means polo shirts and a pair of jeans or a pair of tracksuit bottoms. I want to remove barriers to young people playing. That's not to say that there shouldn't be dress codes for senior county, for finals days, for television, for things like that. I absolutely think they should, but for juniors, let's ease them into it. And take it from there. But thank you for your commenting. I totally take on board what you're saying, and I do agree with you in some regards. Tony from Southport in Lancs. Andy, the flat green don't seem to have a problem with exposure on TV. They play a defined number of ends, best of 3 first to 11. Not exactly sure. Not exactly true, that. Not too sure if that's correct, but the games are over within a certain time. Worth a check to see what they do. Maybe an idea to check it out. Flat green would argue with you vociferously about that. They don't have much exposure at all. They only get a few days for the World Championships, and that's it. They may get the Welsh Open shown on Welsh TV and possibly the Scottish Open on Scottish TV, but they don't have a lot else. If you think about the 80s, you used to have the World Championship, the CIS, the Super Bowl, and I think they had a few more as well, but they're down to one. It's better than none, like us. They play 2 sets. Is it 7 ends? 7 ends. And if it finishes a tie, 1 set each, they then have a 3-end tie break where you can only score 1 chalk per end. So yeah, it's over in about an hour and a quarter, something like that. And the finals, I think, is played over 9 ends. I think that's right. It used to be 7 up, but they changed it to a number of ends. It might even be 9 ends in the earlier rounds. I'm not sure, but yes. Which is why I think the Big Smash format would work, because it's 20 ends. They know that it's going to take half an hour or 35 minutes, somewhere around that region, and it works really well. And that is, I think it's got to be the way forward for if and when we get on TV. Wayne Mosley, my pal from Huddersfield, my victorious pairs partner in the Crossland Moor member and guest. Which seems an awful long time ago now. As already said, the Big Smash is a great format, 20 ends and power ends and loud music, that is the way forward. Great minds think alike, Mr. Mosley. That's all I can say on that. Kirk Wright's put a nice big long post on about his fantastic name. And would you believe his middle name is Douglas? Kirk Douglas Wright. Fantastic, absolutely amazing. Just to clarify my point about the outdated flat green bowls dress code, I meant to say that newcomers to Crown Green bowls often ask if you have to wear white shirts and trousers, not shorts, as you said in your post. Sorry, I do get a bit tongue-tied at times. I'm not sure if it was no, definitely me. Anyway, great programme, well done. My other point wouldn't it be great to have a Barry Hearn type person who could take bowls by the scruff of its neck and develop it, though I guess it will never be an easy sport for TV, unlike darts and snooker. And that's the problem we have. You need a certain minimum number of cameras to make it look good and professional. I know a few people sort of had a go at me when I was talking about the live streaming, going, and well, you can do it with one camera, you can do it cheap, and yeah, unfortunately it tends to look cheap, and that's not what you're trying to do. You want to make it look good, and to make it look good you need a lot of cameras. Flat green indoors, you only arguably need 2 cameras, and 2 of them can be did I say 2? They need 3 cameras, and 2 of them are fixed at either end, so you don't need anyone to operate them. It's snooker, you don't need many cameras, maybe 2, and that's the problem we've got. A Barry Hearn type figure is never ever going to get anywhere with our sport. There's too many people making decisions at the top end, a management committee with however many, is it 40 odd people on or whatever it is. It's just unworkable, absolutely unworkable. And when it's like that, I don't know what you can do. Rip it up and start again maybe, but I wish I had a few quid. I wish I had enough money to make a professional tour, and I would happily be that man, but I don't have the resources, and I certainly don't have the time at the minute, unfortunately. So I'm going to leave it there. I think that all the others are about balls for collection, so there's not a lot else to talk about. Oh, I'll leave the last word to Bev Johnson, because ladies should get the last word. Andy Cairns, don't you know it's bad luck to put your shoes on the table? I can hand on heart, category tell you, this is an IKEA Kallax unit. It's not a table. I might be splitting hairs, but never mind. And these are just some of my trainers. I think the ones you can see in shot are my Burnley Gazelle trainers. I might show you some of my others one day when we got a spare 3 or 4 hours and you want to look at my trainers. Anyway guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. Leave some comments down below if there's anything you want to say, anything you want to ask, anything you want to pull me up on. I'm more than happy to take that little bit of criticism. Tomorrow there will be another North Ashton Village final day with the great Brian Duncan playing in it. So that's what's going on tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of the week, enjoy your weekend, and I hope you join me Monday for another look back through the Bowler's World archives. It'll be a March, but I don't know what year, maybe 82, I think. Yeah, that might be a good year. Until then, stay safe guys, keep the masks on, keep thinking about getting out and about on that bowling green, and thanks for joining me. See you soon. Bye for now.